Hello, my gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful queen bees. It is your girl Amanda, the Bazaar Artist. Welcome back to my channel, a place where you can let loose and just have fun with your acrylic paint, people. And welcome to holiday month, where I'm going to be showcasing fun Christmas and holiday related paintings. Get excited, queen bees! And we're gonna kick off the holiday season with a Nightmare Before Christmas inspired painting. And this painting features the hand of Jack Skellington in his Santa costume, holding a red ornament with his face on it. Grab your brushes. Come meet me, I'm going to show you exactly how to make this. Yeah. I realized that the camera wasn't even turned on when I was filming this part of the painting, so I apologize for that. I will show you how to do this effect just on another piece of paper so that way you can catch up to me. And all you're going to need is your 3/4 inch flat wash brush. Give it a nice dip into the water, and we're going to go with the color green. So I already had some green pre-made, but if you don't have green, you can just use yellow and blue. And then I'm just going to start making a circle just like so. Okay, and as I'm making my circle, I'm just kind of extending out my line, redipping back in water and in my paint back and forth. Okay, and I apologize in advance for, I didn't even notice the camera was not on and recording as I was instructing on painting the canvas, but this is exactly what I did with that canvas, so just to help you catch up. Okay, so I got a pretty good ring right here. Give my brush a rinse, and then I'm just going to dip it in some white, and then just add a little center. And then I'm going to bring out the white, just like so. Now, this is a really great blending technique because I'm bringing out the white, just like so, and bring it back in, and that helps me to create this nice gradient blend. Okay, so it's coming out. And reapply some white to keep it going. Bring it out and in. Okay, so you get this really cool blend going. Okay, so I'm going to get my brush nice and clean again. And this time, I want to do some darker green along the edges here. So all I got to do for that is add in some green and a little bit of black. Okay, so I want to get a nice darker green going on here. Just going to apply those onto the edges, just like so. Kind of dragging it into the inner ring as well. Okay, this is how blending happens. You make that nice gradient with varying colors. And I'm also making sure to dip it back in to my water, so make sure that I have enough to play with. Alright, that is a little too black. You want to make sure you don't have too much black, because black is a very overpowering color. So I'm just going to rinse my brush out and go back in with some green. Okay. Okay, so once you got your color down, I'm gonna rinse my brush, rinse it real well, and then we're gonna go back in with our white. Again, we're gonna start at the center, and then bring it out. And we want to bring it out to here as well, so I want to radiate that white out. And I'm dipping back into the green just to help me out with some of the colors here. And that's what we like to call some blending magic. Okay, so you get this really cool looking blend. And it really kind of goes with that theme of The Night Before Christmas kind of aesthetic, right? Now, I know in previous videos I said The Night Before Christmas is a Halloween movie, but because it does dabble in the world of Christmas, I thought, hey, it would be kind of cool to have that kind of aesthetic, right? Okay, so that's pretty much how you would make the background. Our regular canvas here. So once you're done with your background, just set it down, leave it alone for about 10 to 15 minutes. So with the powers of editing, this painting should be dry in 3, 2, 1. Boom! Alright, so our canvas has dried finally, and now what we're going to do is we're going to set aside our paints, and I'm going to go and grab our traceable. This can be found in the description link below. You can go ahead and download this and use this on your canvas. So what I did was I took my stencil, I put it over tracing paper with charcoal, and traced over the lines, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over. I'm just going to go ahead and strategically place where I want this to go. So I think I want it like right around here. Then I'm just going to take a pencil, go over the lines. And what should happen is the charcoal should then transfer onto the canvas. We're gonna go with editing magic, so you don't have to watch me do this all day. In 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, the final reveal. I hope it worked. Ah! It looks awesome! Works like a charm every time. I love it. So we're gonna bring our paints back, and we're gonna start by adding in some white for our skeleton, as well as the cuff of Jack's snow coat, and then we're gonna be putting some red onto his sleeve, because he's wearing his Santa costume. I'm gonna switch over to my filbert brush. This is a number 10 filbert, and I'm just gonna dip him in some white and then go at it. So I'm just gonna fill this part in. Okay, so I need to ask again, do you think The Night Before Christmas is a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? Now, I'm totally being sacrilegious here and saying that it is a Halloween movie, but, you know, here we are, painting this in the, you know, Christmas season. So, I know what you're thinking. It's like, Amanda, totally lying. Well, it's okay. So I was actually just doing a couple sketches of Jack Skellington's like fingers and stuff. And if you've ever noticed I don't know if you've ever seen those dolls, those like wooden doll things that are used to help students who are drawing to figure out like what bodies do and how they are configured. If there was a model for hands like that, this would be it. It's very much just, it kind of just works all by the joints here, so I thought that was really cool and interesting. And Jack has got some very spindly fingers. Like they're very thin. You can say bone thin. It's actually a lot easier to draw, to paint in the white as I thought. Well, it helps too because obviously there's no like the canvas is nice and dry, so it's not going to cause really that many problems. How many of you here are super psyched for the holidays? What are some of your favorite traditions that you like to do to prepare? So for me, I like to watch any upcoming Christmas movies that are you know in my queue. So Netflix has got some pretty, well, I don't want to say good. I mean, it's kind of like Hallmarky and kind of like really chintzy, but there's some really good Netflix movies that are out there. I think I just saw the Advent Calendar one, which I thought was pretty cute and adorable. So I'm going it back in, just making multiple layers. Just gonna add some white on that. The cuff of his Santa suit that Sally made him so that he could ride into the night as a pretend Santa Claus. You know, I always thought that whole part in the movie was like, I don't want to say dumb, because I loved Halloween Town so much and the aesthetic of it, but in my mind I was like, dude, like, Jack, really? You think just by, like, taking all this stress onto yourself to, you know, bring presents to a bunch of kids and kidnap a Santa Claus, does that really make sense? Do you have any moral conscious qualms, like, just kind of in the back of your head, like, yeah, you know, it doesn't quite make sense, like, this kind of seems wrong, I don't know. You know? I guess as a kid I always wondered that, you know, it wasn't there like a little tiny head, like, part of you that was like, yeah, maybe this is a little weird, you know, it's a little messed up that I'm like kidnapping a Santa Claus, you know, the day or two before, you know, he's got to go do his stuff, you know, without even like talking to him or like conversing with him, like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of odd to me, but that's just me. Here I am just trying to break apart, you know, just a movie, a very simple movie in that respect, but I got questions, man. And you can always move over to your detail round brush if you really want to just get some more refined details in for the bones. So I just want to go ahead and do more like the tips. Make sure that I got it pretty well covered. And I wouldn't worry too much either, because you will be going over this with black later. Okay, so next we're gonna go and do our ornament. So I'm just gonna use again our filbert. I'm gonna dip it into some red. I'm just gonna lay it down. Ooh, you are a brilliant red, aren't you? Good God, I love you. Oh, you're beautiful. All right, so I think we're gonna be covering the majority of Jack's face in here, which is fine. Oh no, you can sort of still see it. Okay, that's nice. Just gonna add a little bit of water. Oh my God, you are a brilliant red. Oh, you're beautiful. Okay. Now, I know I drew this way, but I do want to have a much bigger looking ornament. I love ornaments that are huge like that. I'm already loving this color scheme. Like, I was experimenting with different colors to see what would work best. And I'm really glad I went with the green here, because it really does help you create that contrast with the red, because, you know, if you look at the color wheel, they're opposite each other. And you'll notice that I'm kind of using the broad side of my filbert here, just to help me achieve a very smooth edge of the ornament. Just taking it very slow. So now we're gonna let that part dry. And now we're gonna go on top of here. And actually, I'm gonna move over to my number 10 shader brush, because it's got a nice flat edge to it. It can help me make flat lines for his sleeve. So I'm just gonna make 2 lines and fill it in. And I'm just taking it very slow around the trim of his cuff. No need to rush. Take it slow, man. Just take it slow. Which is the opposite of what Jack should have done in the case of, you know, just sabotaging Christmas and taking over a holiday. I mean, who does that, right? Like, who takes over a freaking holiday like that? You know, it's like, hey, you know what? I like this. I want this now. I'm having a moral quandary within my own self. So let me just make myself feel better and just take over your holiday. Sound good? Thanks. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Dude, why? Not cool, bro. Not cool. We're gonna go ahead now and add in the black. So you can either go and use a Sharpie, or you can use your Detail 0 brush here and use black paint. All right, so I'm gonna dip my brush in water. Water is your best friend when you're trying to make inky black paint, okay? Like paint that is so thin but also pretty opaque that is gonna get a nice flow for you. So I just added a good deal of water. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just add my black. So you'll notice he's got quite a bit of black, like especially at his joints in his fingers, which makes a lot of sense. And the parts of his hands that are like a little bigger, they're just more like lines at this point. You're all right. Yeah, I talk to my brushes. You know, it's just a good way to develop a bond with them, because you are going to be doing quite a bit together. Yeah, you're doing okay, buddy. So, it's just going ahead and outlining everything here. What is your favorite Christmas movie to watch? I know I mentioned the Netflix stuff, that's more like, to me, that's just more like chintzy. I enjoy the legit Christmas movies, and the legit ones in my mind are Home Alone 2. Not Home Alone 1, because, well, I don't know what it was in my family, but I remember we started watching the Home Alone stuff at 2 for some reason. And I watched the first one after watching 2, and I was like, oh, the first one's just like the second one. It's clearly just not as good. And then, obviously that's just not making any sense because, well, the second one was just a rehash of the first one. But the second one just had a lot of more Christmas stuff to it. I thought it was just a little bit more, like, it had a little extra to it, which, I don't know, I just loved it. And plus it had Tim Curry. Oh, and I'm taking my jolly good old time with this one. And you can make the black lines as thick or as thin as you'd like. I'm kind of in between, to be honest with you. I don't like them to be too thin because then it just looks like, it looks like you're trying to be a little too careful. And when you're painting, when you're trying to be overly cautious, it really does show up in your painting. So I had to counterbalance that with just going overboard, right? It's got a little. And around the joints, I'm adding just an extra layer of black here just to symbolize like the joint separation. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our ornament for a second. And we're going to draw out the eyes. Okay, and because of how thin this is, I am going to actually use a marker for this part. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and just do the other parts of this. So this is the part of the ornament that's being put together. Actually, I might switch back to a pen. What do you call this? A brush? Now I'm going over my black lines with marker because I just have a steadier hand and I want to really give my painting those really nice crisp lines. Okay. Lastly, we're going to just add a little bit of a shiny detail to the ornament here. So we're going to assume that there is light coming in from, yeah, let's have the light coming in from this direction here. So we're just going to go take in some white. So it's going to be shiny right around there. Okay, always important to figure out where your light source is coming from so you can lay down the light. Pretty much like that, and maybe another one right around here somewhere. Yeah, I like that. And that's pretty much how you would go ahead and make a Jack Skellington holding a ornament. My queen bees, how awesome was this tutorial? If you enjoyed this, please be sure to give this video a like and to subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button, you know what to do so you can see more fun, holiday-inspired paintings from me to you in the future. And remember everybody, love yourselves and always have fun with your acrylic paint. See you all next time.